excited to be here. I've never performed at Beauty Bar. I wish this is what my insides looked like. Instead, they look kind of like Gary Busey now, which is like cute to some, but niche. When I first got invited to do the show and I saw that the theme was BFA, I was very high and my first initial thought was big fat ass. Which I was like, oh, I'm not right for this show, because that's the one thick part of me that I don't have. Every part of me is thick. I have Hadassah arms. If you're not Jewish, that just is like a code for old Jewish lady arms. Things sag, things swerve and curve, just not as graceful as that, but close enough. Only on Wednesdays. Someone whistle for Wednesdays? Yeah, I love a Wednesday. I love a good middle week breakdown. Yeah. No, I saw that so I was born with a proper Jewish ass. It is flat and yet ripply. It's very much like a potato latke. I'm only popular with men on 8 days of December for Hanukkah. 8 Crazy Nights was originally written about me. Originally, and then I was like, no, pay me. And yeah, exactly, that same thing happened. So BFA is like a degree you have. I don't have a BFA. But I am really great at picking horrible men, or men that just end up they seem great, but then plot twist, American Psycho. Recently, the most recent story I had was I matched with this very nice guy on Tinder who I was immediately attracted to. He was my type. He looked like a young Patton Oswalt with some facial hair. Very my type. Oh yeah, I love a big, burly, a young John Goodman with tattoos. If you know anyone that looks like that, hit me up. We matched, we met up, he drove Lyft. I'm like, oh my god, he has a car. Great. And so we talked for a few days. We ended up meeting up one night. It was great. We met up at 9:30 at night. I didn't get home till 5. We spent the whole night, right? We spent the whole night talking, just talking and talking and talking. And then a few hours later, we went out and got coffee and talked more. He held my hand, which by the way, I do not like. I didn't like being a child on a leash then, and I didn't like it now. That's how I felt. No. Sorry. Back to this. Not my feelings, but this. And yeah, things were great. We were going, it was just really nice. And I've never met a guy where I had that instant of a connection with, which was weird, because And then so we were texting a little bit more, and I was like, oh, by the way, what's your last name? Because Tinder doesn't give that one kind of important detail of a person. And so he gave me his last name, so immediately I start lurking, because raise your hand, the minute you find out someone's last name that you met on Tinder, you immediately go on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google, LinkedIn, right? J-Day, J-Swipe, yeah. All the J's. So that's what I did. So I go on his Facebook, and I see a picture of him and a kid, and I'm like, oh, that's probably just his nephew, because he told me he had, siblings, so I'm like, okay, whatever. Then I go on the Instagram, and then I see it's only 8 pictures, but they're all of this little fucker. And all the captions are my little guy, oh, he looks just like me, and I'm thinking, oh, fuck, I hate kids, and I do. I hate children. Oh my god. I am the only person who has ever defended the girlfriend in the Parent Trap. I too would deport Lindsay Lohan's freckled ass and the fake twin to another country at a boarding school, so I could have, who the hell would not do that so they could have late 90s, Dilfy, Dennis Quaid all to themselves on a vineyard. On a motherfucking vineyard. Who would not do that? They'd be like, hi, you're cute. I know. So yeah, I'm not that kid friendly, and here's the thing. If he had presented himself like, okay, tell me this. You've been on dates before, right? Okay, when you're on a date, don't you sometimes go with the mood of a guy? So like if he's presenting himself like, yeah, I'm very casual, fun, like, fuck me, like, you know that vibe? You go with it. But when they're like, I want a relationship, I want to date, I want to be with a person, you go with that too, because you're like, that low-key sounds like less exhausting, and I don't like to move. No. I truly believe Cleopatra is like the only person who have it right. Feet are not meant to touch the ground. She thought that I knew her very well. She told me that to herself. That was her secret. Perfect feet. She loved men with feet fetishes. Fun fact. Didn't think you were gonna get a history lesson. Now you did. But thank you for whoever said that was funny. Thank you. Hi, you're my new mom. Be my manager. But yeah, no. Anyway, so I confronted him and I was like, hey. You got a kid? Silence in Judge Judy's courtroom, like dead silence. And then he said yes, which then like the bomb of like shooketh just imploded inside me. So then I first asked if he had, yeah, the bomb was shooketh. So then, oh, is that the face? No. Oh, okay. Okay. Don't they look like Joni Mitchell? I live. But yeah, no, so we talked about it. They explained to me that like they weren't with the person that they had the child with because they were in their like profile picture on Instagram. So I'm like, let's figure that one out. So they talked, and I like said very nicely, I'm like, I very much respect the fact that you're a parent and that you oh, I thought someone was laughing at me. That sounded like laughing. Like how insincere like that. It was insincere, but insincere. Sorry, I was raised in Texas. Thank you. You get it? Yeah. But I, what was I saying? Raised in Texas, can't speak, illiterate. I love Anna Nicole Smith. Oh yeah, this guy. This guy, yeah, no, anyway, so I like break it to him gently. I'm like, I respect the fact that you're a dad, blah, 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 but like, you want a relationship, I can't be with a kid. And I know I dropped some hints, like when we were dating, like when we like went on our few dates, like, I made that Lindsay Lohan joke about the Parent Trap. What else did I say? I said like, did anyone ever think how Casey Anthony felt? Too soon? It's been like a decade, calm down. When it becomes like when it's a part of a YouTube clip called The Greatest Hits of Nancy Grace, we can joke about it. I don't know if that's a clip, but don't you wish that was a clip? The Greatest Hits of Nancy Grace. But yeah, no, also I might have said like, I'm not kid friendly straight up to his face. So that might have been like a hint that he might not want to tell me why he had a kid. But yeah, so he texted me recently. I was like, we can't talk anymore. And then I ran away to New York because I was like in a mood. And I had bios. So I was like very dramatic, goodbye girl. What's that dumb Heather Locklear, Hilary Duff movie? Oh no, not the Goodbye Girl, that's like a good movie. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, I'm packing up, I'm going to visit friends in New York. And I did, and it was wonderful and great. But at the same, okay. That's the face. But at this, that was like the minute. But he texted me there and he was like, hey, how are you? Are you back from New York? I'm like, no, do you still have a kid? And so he was like, yeah, I still have the kid. Would you like to talk on when you get back? I'm like, sure, I get back on this day. It's been a week. I haven't heard from him. I hope he's okay. Well, whatever. If he, yeah, I don't know. I'm not that caring of a human being. Anyway, that's my time because I got a face from the great Canadian legend, Joni Mitchell. I'm Brian Karpus. Thank you.